Hi, my name is Aya. You're watching Aya Reads, and I'm here to do another romance recommendations video, and this time it is on the one bed trope. I really love this trope. I'm sure a lot of us really love this trope. It is such a good way to create like this forced proximity type situation. Usually it's other people creating the whole one bed trope for the couple, and usually once they're in bed together, that is usually when like the romance gets kicked up a notch. So it is a good, I always love it when I see it in books. I do have to say some of the books I'm going to talk about, I have read them a while ago, so I couldn't tell you the exact scenario of how there's a book one bed trope, but I'm pretty sure I am right about all of them, that they do have either one bed throughout the entirety of the book or for at least one scene of the book. I have 7 contemporaries to talk about, 1 paranormal and 1 fantasy romance. So this trope really, at least for the books I've read, seems to be taking place mostly in contemporary settings. So let's get started. I actually have 2 by Elsie Silver to recommend. She really does seem to love the one bed trope. The first one is Flawless by Elsie Silver. So this book you follow Red and Summer, and Red is a professional bull rider, and he recently made some dumb comments about a sponsor, so his agent sends his daughter out to travel with him so that she can keep him in line. And there's this scene in here where, so they always get their separate rooms, obviously, because her dad doesn't want them to get together. But then they're at this hotel, and I think her room is really cold, and the heating is not working. So, and I think they stay at this hotel for a couple days. So he eventually finds out and forces her to sleep in his bed with him. And that is really, like I said, where their relationship gets up to a notch. They get closer. I really love this book. I really love this series. And yeah, I did really love the one bed trope. A similar situation goes on in Powerless. This time you follow Jasper and Sloane, and they have been in each other's lives for years, because Sloane is actually the cousin of Red, and Jasper has kind of been, he's like the adopted brother of Red's. So they've been seeing each other during the summer while they were growing up, and she's always had a crush on him. But now she kind of moved on with her life. She gets married, or she's planning to marry somebody else. But on her wedding day, she does a runaway bride situation and asks Jasper to take her away. And after that, they also do a bit of traveling. And I think they are forced to stay at this like hotel type place. And there's only 1 room available with 1 bed. And like I said, also like the one bed trope in here is done so well. I think Elsie Silver does the one bed trope really well, and I'm really happy to see them in 2 of her books. Next, I want to talk about the Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. You follow Lena and Aaron, and they hate each other. So they're co-workers and they despise each other. But Aaron overhears that Lena is going back to Spain to go to her sister's wedding, and she doesn't want to go there single because her ex-boyfriend is attending as well. So he proposes that he'll go with her as her date, so they'd be fake dating. So when she gets there, her mother or like her family decides to give them their own bedroom with only 1 bed, because obviously they think that they are dating. And yeah, it is so good. I believe there's a scene in here where they are kind of like fighting about who gets the actual bed, and I think they break the bed, and their family thinks that they just broke it because they had sex. It was hilarious, and I thought she did the one bed trope in here very well, and it was very enjoyable to me. Another one that's kind of similar is Happy Place by Emily Henry. So in this book, you follow Harriet and Wynne, and they've been in a relationship for years, but 5 months ago they broke up, and they are actually in the same friend group. So when their friends decide to go on this last vacation to this place they always go to, they decide to not tell them that they're actually broken up, so as to not ruin the vacation. So they get the room they always had, which is a room with 1 bed. And obviously they cannot tell them that they can't stay there, because otherwise they're going to ask questions. So yeah, they are forced to stay in this room with their ex-boyfriend and ex-girlfriend, well, actually, yeah, with their ex, even though they've broken up so recently, was so good. And obviously that is also a great setting for them to confront what happened in the past and to see how they can move on in the future. And I really, really love this book. The Right Move by Liz Somfort. This is a roommate situation, but actually that is not where the one bed trope comes in. You actually follow Indy and Ryan, and Indy's boyfriend recently cheated on her, so she decides to move out, and her best friend, who's Ryan's twin sister, she offers up Ryan's spare bedroom. And while they're living together, Ryan actually tells her that he needs a fake girlfriend, and in that capacity, his general manager invites him to this retreat in the woods, and they obviously get like their own tent, but it's like one bed in there, and they have to spend, I think it's one night, maybe two, you know, having only one bed. And once again, it's where they really talk about, like, really get to know each other. And first of all, this is one of my favorite books I read this year. It might actually be my favorite if I really think about it. And yeah, the fake dating aspect was amazing. The roommates aspect was amazing. And obviously it had a one bed trope, so that only elevated what was already an amazing book for me. And the last contemporary, oh no, that's not true. I have Twisted Hate to talk about. To be honest with this one, I cannot actually remember the one bed in here. I think maybe it's when they're out skiing. I think, I'm not sure, but anyway, somewhere in this book there is a one bed trope. You follow Jules and Josh, and we've seen them bicker ever since the first book. They despise each other, and when they actually start sort of working together in the same place. Even though he's a doctor, she's a lawyer, but some in the like the hospital, she gets like an internship there, and he helps out. So actually, she's his sister's best friend, and he hates that fact because he thinks she's not good enough or good news for his sister. So they already were kind of in contact because of that, but now that they're also working together, they see each other more. And like I said, I don't know how, but at one point there is a one bed trope, but this is like the ultimate hate to love book, and they actually start having sex while they still hate each other, which I thought was amazing as well. So yeah, obviously the Twisted series is a very popular series. I think it's popular for a reason, and this is one of my favorites in the series. And my last contemporary with one bed trope is The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. You follow Olive and Ethan, and their siblings are getting married, so her sister, maybe her twin sister and his brother, and but on the wedding day, they are the only two that don't eat from the buffet, and everybody else that did eat from it gets viciously sick, including the bride and groom. So her sister decides that, her sister doesn't want her honeymoon to go to waste, so she decides to let Ethan and Olive go on this honeymoon. So they go, and obviously it's supposed to be a honeymoon, so they get like the honeymoon suite with only one bed, and they are, like I said, forced to deal with that. I think in the beginning they kind of bicker, and one of them actually sleeps on the couch, but obviously once feelings get involved, the one bed is very convenient as well. I really loved it. This is Fade to Black, which is the only Fade to Black in any of these books actually. So if you like that, then this could be for you. But I do have to say, I normally don't really like Fade to Black. Like, just give me everything in a book. Like, also I see them fall in love. I also want to see them have sex. But I do have to say, for a Fade to Black book, I really definitely did enjoy this. And it's like a very fun, summery book. And it's also hate to love. So most of these, the Twisted Hate, obviously Happy Place, their exes, Spanish Love Deception, they also hate each other. Same with Unhoneymooners. Like, that is a good way to create forced proximity, like I said, especially if they actually hate each other, to see how they're gonna deal with having just one bed. Obviously, they could either decide to just sleep in the same bed and try not to touch each other, but another way, obviously, is for one of them to sleep either on the floor or on the couch. So, but obviously, that first scene of them realizing there's only one bed is always peak entertainment for me. Those were the contemporaries. Now moving on to my only paranormal, and it's Resting Witch Face by Juliet Cross. This is similar to Flawless and Powerless in that Jules and Ruben have to travel throughout the US and the UK, and in at least one of the places there's only one bed. So basically Jules and Ruben, they used to be in a relationship, but 12 years ago Jules ended it, and you follow a witch and a vampire, and they have longer lifespans than us regular humans. So 12 years, even though that is still very long, in the scheme of their lives, it's not as long of a time. But now Ruben wants to get her back, and their love story has been teased since the first book. And there's like this overarching plot in these books where they want to get, like, the werewolves are pretty ostracized in their paranormal community, and Jules and her sisters are trying to get them like equal rights and stuff like that. And to do that, they have to travel throughout the US and to the UK to plead their case. And like I said, Jules and Ruben, they go on ahead and do that. And in one of the places or more, they only have one bed, and obviously it's very good. And I really love this series. If you want to read a good beginner paranormal series, I would highly recommend this one. This is the 5th one. I would recommend reading them in order, but you can read this without having read the other ones. Very good. And last but most certainly not least, if you've not read this book for some reason, this is going to be maybe your 100th reason to, and it's A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. I think a lot of us have already read this, and a lot of us, that scene is living in our minds rent-free. Rhys and Feyre. So basically, this is the second book in A Court of Thorns and Roses series, and in the first book, Feyre is with another man, or another fae. And in this book, she realizes that that relationship is toxic, she needs to leave, and she runs off to Rhys. And in the beginning, nothing really is happening. She really needs to heal from the traumatic experiences that happened in the first book. Slowly but surely, they get closer. Slowly but surely, she starts falling for him. And then I don't remember what the mission is, but at one point they go to this inn where there's only one bed, and that is the first time something sexy and smutty happens between them. And that scene just lives in my mind rent-free. I love that scene. And yeah, this is like the peak only one bed trope, and I absolutely adore it. And this is one of my favorite books of all time. So like I said, I'm sure a lot of you have already read it, and this is your if you have read it, maybe reread it, because you can never reread this book enough, in my opinion. But also, if you've not read this book yet, I'm sure I'm not the first person to tell you that you're not going to regret it if you do. You do have to read A Court of Thorns and Roses first, but I did really enjoy that one. But after reading A Court of Mist and Fury, that one definitely pales in comparison. And yes, this was short but sweet, hopefully. And hopefully one of these you have not read already. I really hope that you can put at least one of them on your TBR. And I would really love to know some of your favorite one bed trope books, because I'm always on the hunt for books that have that trope in it. I love this trope. So if you have some recommendations for me, definitely leave those in the comments below. And I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up. And thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.